6 months into the program at all levels, and we really feel like it's raising the level of performance in our country. You know, people said that, oh, these numbers are too high for the men. Guess what? We almost doubled the number of men from the first period to the second period. People said, oh, guys can't qualify for the Youth Pan Ams. We got a full team of men qualified for the Youth Pan Ams. We got a full team of men qualified for Senior Worlds with reserves left over. USA Weightlifting is getting better every day, and you guys are the ones doing it. So congratulations. I would like you periodically through this camp to stop what you're doing and take a look around. Look at the 5 rings, look at the word Team USA, look at what's on your shirt, and appreciate that. And I consider this a sacred place. So I hope you will as well. We're guests here. We earned the right to be here. You earned the right to be here, but it's a very special place. So I want you to really respect that and to really appreciate what you've accomplished to get here. So before we go to training, I have a distinct honor to introduce a speaker to start off our NTP camp in a great way.
A couple of things that I really want to instill in all of you. I want you to look at yourselves through that lens, because you're not here by accident, right? You're here because you've worked hard, you've dedicated yourselves, and you've done things that everybody can't do. So when you look at yourself through that lens of, and not in an arrogant way, you look at yourself through the lens of, hey, I'm not just average. We get average all the time, all over the place. What you are is extraordinary. And as soon as you start the mindset of looking at yourself through that lens of being extraordinary, and again, not in an arrogant way, but in a very special way, that's when things really start to click, right? And you build upon that by holding yourself to what I call this kind of champion's standard, everything that you do. Being here is a privilege, and you want to take advantage of that. So what you want to do is you want to be the example for others to follow.
We have the first national team program developmental camp. We have athletes from the first period and second period, about 30 athletes from youth through just post-junior level that are here for the camp. It's a bigger camp. Level says this is the developmental group, doing almost exactly the same thing that we did with the senior camp. We're not setting up the THEA system for our biomechanics, but we'll video and we'll have slow motion analysis. We'll put results for these athletes into our guardrail project to be able to tell them where they stack up during different key phases of the lift in regard to hundreds of other lifts that we've seen through USA Weightlifting history. We did some jump testing. We're going to have work with our dietitian, our sports psychologist. We have a physical therapist here to work on any physical issues these athletes have, and really just spend a lot of time bonding and talking about prospects for our senior world team are pretty darn high. Letting these athletes know that they're a part of that legacy and what it's going to take for them to jump to that next level is really important. So we're going to do a couple different snatch technical sessions, a clean technical session, a jerk technical session, and then on Thursday we'll do our heavy lifts and we'll videotape everybody. So just trying to give them tools to be world-class weightlifters at the next level.
Yeah, so having all of the athletes here come together for the national team camp is amazing. It's really great to have them at the Olympic Training Center, some place that, you know, I'm very fond of. I've spent a lot of my training career here. The focus really of this camp is to kind of bring all the kids in, work on some of the team dynamics, but also we want to give them some tools and some things that they can take home and work on. So we're really focused on teaching the why of why we do certain things and what we're looking for like snatch. We're gonna do a snatch focus day, a clean focus day, and then a jerk focus day. And then we're gonna do some heavy lifts at the end, so that's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here. I mean, it's really just a cool experience, getting to be in the presence of just a lot of really great athletes, and then just on a facility with other great athletes, non-weightlifting. It's just, I feel really honored to be a part of the program. My favorite part is really just the coaching. You know, we have our personal coach at home, but other outside looks are always good, and I feel like I have a lot of room to improve on technique and stuff. I love training with other athletes. So a lot of times at home, I'll be training alone or training with younger kids. So when I get the chance to train with these elite athletes, I really love getting pushed to that next level that I don't always get.
It's been really nice. I've been able to make friends with like every single one of them, and they're all so different, but like we all have weightlifting the same. So like we are able to bond. Everyone's so unique, and I just love them all.
When you get to that pause position, you're kind of securing your torso back. Okay. Let's keep it set. So brace, ribs, okay, and I want you to hold that position. Right? Eyes for your head. Like you said, lift your belly.
I'm loving it here. I think it is absolutely amazing to have the opportunity to be here between the history in this place and having the opportunity to stomp on the same grounds that all these best Olympians and best athletes from the U.S. and the world have ever been in. Is pretty crazy. And then I'm loving being around my teammates that, you know, you only see a couple times a year, especially at competitions when the energy is a little bit different. This is definitely more laid back and more fun. I love the NTP program. I think it's very involving with a bunch of different athletes from all levels. I think it's a good thing to implement for everybody. It makes everyone feel like they're someone and that they deserve to be here, which they do. So I like the fact that we have the opportunity to talk to all of our national coaches and that they give us feedback as well. The people that are also provided to us, like Mel and Megan, are awesome as well.
Phillips had put a quote up about a study that they did with Olympic athletes, and what the results came up with was that 90% of Olympic athletes use visualization, and of those 90% of athletes who use this mental skill for their performance, 97%, so almost all of them, found it to be really helpful to their success. So we're going to dive into this a little bit more. Who knows what visualization, or sometimes you might hear it also called like imagery. What is visualization? Who uses it? With a show of hands, who has used it? So it's one of those skills, I think similar, it's very obviously involves a lot of mindfulness, but it takes a lot of time to even get close to like what we call mastering. I don't know if we like master visualization, right? Because it changes and shifts and we use it for different parts of our life. But there are athletes that I've worked with for 5 or 6 years now who actually visualization has been just something that's become very organic, very natural. It just kind of happens. Whereas in the beginning, and for those of you who have never practiced visualization, that's okay. But at the beginning, it's really hard because you're actually having to structure in time. You're following certain like guided exercises, guided visualizations. So it does take a lot of time. It's really exhausting. But to the point earlier with some of the research and then just what we've seen in all realms, not even just within sport performance, but coming back from injury, rehab, all of that, visualization is by far kind of one of the top mental skills that I wanted to be able to kind of help introduce to you guys and add to your toolbox. We can imagine, visualize, see ourselves doing something over and over and over. We're going to be able to execute that much more accurately and optimally when we're on the platform or in whatever sport realm we're doing.
I think we sometimes laugh at this, or we get bored, or we're not really thinking about this aspect of our performance enough. But I will say now, in almost 10 years of doing this job, 2 Olympics, more worlds at every level that I could count, youth, junior, senior, guys, this is the missing key. If your goals are to make a certain level, I'm going to urge you to work on your mental skills, because we have a great pool of athletes that make these competitions, but who stands out? Who makes the lifts they want to make? Who wins medals? Who, even if you don't win a medal, comes away saying, I hit PRs, I hit a giant percentage of my training PRs. The people who have this, it's the big missing link. So I'm just going to urge you to continue to work on this aspect of your holistic performance.
To Mike's point, a lot of the athletes I work with, and I think this will be repetitive again for some people in here, but we talk about this to be feared list, and that is going out to your competition, and when you think about your start list, what do you want all those people on the start list to think about you? Why should they be intimidated by you? Why should they be afraid of you? What do you bring to that platform that's different than them? And I will tell you at this level, it's not always physical. You guys are all really good. You're all very close. But what sets people apart is how they use this part, and to Wes's point yesterday, like kind of the 6 inches between your ears, right? So if you can use your brain in a way that's a tool versus a hindrance, you're saving energy, but you're also, that's that 1%, and at times, I think closer to like the 10% that sets you apart from the people you're competing against. And this is high level. You'll be competing against each other in the room at some point. We see that going into the quads, but also competitors from other countries, national meets, all of that too. So something to keep in mind.
Use the power clean as an exercise to do just that. I'm going to ask Kai to do a power clean. I want you to pause 2 seconds when you catch it. Don't move. 1, 2, fantastic.
I think this camp has much more of a holistic approach than previously. I like the emphasis on like your mental being and nutrition. I think is a cool addition. It's so nice. I don't have any, or I have a teammate here, but it's nice to be able to train and meet new people and build more of a community in weightlifting and have that support even on like just simple technique days. It's really nice to feel like supported and encouraged. Definitely looking forward to being around my teammates, of course, but I think I'm really looking forward to the presentations by the sports psychologist and the dietitian.
I really like it so far, even though it's only day one. I feel like really close to my teammates, and I feel like we're all super strong, and it's training together is just really fun, and I really like it. Like, we're just a big group, just training towards one goal. I really like it. I think the resources it provides are really valuable, especially like the funding, and it gives like an incentive to push each other harder to, get the funding and like be on the team with a bunch of other like good athletes, and I just really like it.
I think the biggest thing with weightlifters is, since it is a weight class sport, a lot of people think that they will be the most successful if they cut lower to a lower weight class, because they just see other people doing it and they think if I can get to this lower weight class, I'll be stronger. But a lot of times sometimes people, do cut a couple kilo and they're completely fine and they do it the right way and they're successful in that weight class. But a lot of times other people might cut too much, too fast, or too frequently, because sometimes, especially when you're trying to qualify for the Olympics, those qualification periods can be very long. So sometimes you lose the strength that you would have had if you would have just adequately fueled your body and just lifted in whatever weight class you were naturally sitting in.
All the way into on front, yep, and then you're gonna rotate away from the band and the rig. Band is in my right hand. I'm going to rotate towards it. Let the band pull your arm closer to the rig. Take your opposite arm, bring it overhead, pull it on in. Guys, our system, right? This is all great for short-term relief. If you guys want longer lasting benefits from a mobility program and ones that are going to emphasize improvements in performance, getting you ready for power, strength, fast dynamic movements, we have to prime our system. We're gonna go through a very quick dynamic warm-up. Then I'll take you guys to that eccentric protocol.
My name is Amanda Arendt. I am the physical therapist for the Team USA staff here at the NTP camp. Yeah, so we addressed a whole entire mobility session addressing flexibility and the difference between that and mobility, and really honestly differentiating between neurophysiological changes and biomechanical changes. So if we're addressing injury prevention and then also enhancing performance, that we need to be doing a whole well-rounded approach to mobility instead of just foam rolling your life away. And that if we want to see true tissue changes, that we have to think about, okay, we need to open up this space, isolate it, and then integrate it into some big functional movement pattern. And so the key is, one, being able to access a new range and then being able to control it. And so a lot of the times, again, athletes like to perform really hard and heavy, and then their recovery days are just foam rolling for 5 minutes. But that's not going to prevent injuries. It's not going to enhance their performance or allow them to really adapt to new stressors and reduce stiffness and soreness. And so taking them through a well-rounded mobility routine addressing flexibility, mobility, strength, motor control and technique, and then also recovery is kind of where we addressed every aspect. And then, again, if we are mobile, we need to be able to control it. If you don't use it, you lose it. And so motion is lotion. And that's kind of the key point that we address the entire time. So if we're talking about tissue length, if we're regaining new motion, if we don't utilize that new length in tissue, it's gonna go right back to where we started. So again, you gotta use it or else you lose it.
I'm just looking forward to lifting.
Like lifting with all my friends, and you don't get to do it very often.
The team feels a lot stronger this year.
I'm really looking forward to the heavy session on Thursday, getting the energy here.
Max out day.
Tomorrow I'm going heavy, so I'm looking forward to that.
It's Thursday.
Let's go.
A lot of good resources that are being sent towards us, and it's definitely helping everybody and a lot more people. It's really fun to spend time with everybody and meet my friends that live far away.
It's really cool to see other people lifting. I hope I'm making my community at home proud. I hope I can continue doing this.